Hi there. I just wanted to share with you guys something that I experienced this last week. And I don't know if any of you have ever been in a situation, a conversation where um, your heart is just broken by what you're hearing in the conversation, but by the time you finish that conversation, your heart is so overjoyed and uplifted, and you recognize that that divine appointment was not what you expected it to be, and that God had a totally different plan. Well, that was me this last week. I had attended a vendor booth and I was following up, and I had spoken with a girl at the vendor show, and I talked to her about some of her concerns briefly. And she was an eighth grader, so 13 years old. And so I had followed up with her and just asked her, if she had anything else that she was concerned about that I could maybe help her with. And what she said surprised me because it wasn't at all what I thought she might say. And this young lady, looking down, we were on Zoom, so I was able to see her, and I'm so grateful for that. I would have rather it been in person or across a kitchen table, but we were on Zoom, and she just looked down. She said, "I am so scared about high school. I'm so worried about high school." And I could just hear it in her voice, the uncertainty. And it was in that moment that I realized this phone call had nothing to do with the vendor show, that there was a different reason I was on the other side of that Zoom. And in that moment, as heartbroken as I was, my desire to help her know who she is and to be confident in that um, completely became first and foremost. And so I looked into the screen and I just said, listen, I can totally understand that. There are things in our life that, are new seasons of our life that are change, and we don't know what to expect. And that can cause some anxiousness, and that can cause some fear and uncertainty. And that's normal. But here's what I want to tell you, and the best words of wisdom I can give you is I want you to go into that high school knowing that you are the best version of you, that you are the gift to that school. You going into that school, the best gift you can give all of them is to simply be you. And that is your superpower. And I went on to tell her, that there's not anything to worry about, that she can cast all of that anxiety, all of those worries onto God, that that's His load to carry for her, and that He has a plan and a purpose for her on her journey in this life, and that He's already written the story of what high school is to come, the years of high school and what's to come, and that it's her opportunity to go into this confidently knowing that she was created as His masterpiece. And I love Ephesians 2:10, where it tells us, it reminds us of that, right? And we often have to be reminded of that. Even those of us that are much older, we concern ourselves about that next milestone, that next season of life, and we worry ourselves, and we carry this anxious load on our backs of not knowing, what direction the Lord is going to have us go, right? And the beautiful thing about that, and I want to remind you all of, because I have to remind myself of this, is that this season of life, whatever that looks like for you, is one puzzle piece in the big picture, right? But God is our creator. He created the masterpiece. He knows where all of the puzzles lie. He has put them together, right? He has formed you. He has created you as a masterpiece. And He has forgotten nothing. Nothing. He has designed you with the gifts, the attributes, the personality. He has given you all the unique character traits that you have to be uniquely you. And that is your gift back to this world, to whatever season of life that is for you. And you can be confident in that, knowing that He has already paved the way, that He has created. That scripture goes on to tell us He has created a plan for us Even before he created us, he had a plan and a mission for your life. And you guys, I love Psalms 139. It's one of my most favored verses. I hold it near and dear to my heart. And it tells us that he created us. He knit us together. He formed us in our mother's womb, you guys. I love how you can look at Genesis and you can see how he spoke the world into existence. He spoke the world into existence. He said there was light and there was light, right? But he took time on you. He knitted you together. He formed you just as a potter forms his clay. He formed you and created you into his masterpiece, and you are perfect just the way you are. But the beautiful thing about that is the world is going to be so much more blessed if you go into that knowing that you are created to be you with a plan and a purpose that only you can fulfill for your life. So, regardless of what seasons of life, seasons of change come into your life, know that you were created for that. And you can go into that casting those anxieties, those fears, those worries. Those are not yours to care. He tells us to cast those on Him because He cares for you and to let your burden be light, right? And to go into that knowing that His plan is going to be revealed, and just to walk in that securely, knowing who you are and whose you are. I ended that time with her, you guys, being able to share that with her in a way where she started to sit up straight. She started to look more into the camera at me versus down. And I left that time with her just reaffirming to myself those very things that I shared with her. Because I find myself oftentimes in seasons of life where I also am worried and carrying a load, and it's not mine to carry. And that the best thing I can do is to walk into the unique plan that He has designed for me, knowing that He's got this and casting it to Him and letting Him show me the way. I hope this message helps you too. Know that you're His masterpiece, you guys. Know that you were created, that you were knitted together in your mother's womb, and that He has created you with a plan and a purpose to fulfill in your life. Know that, hold true to that, and just know that you have a life that you get to live walking in Godfidence. I love to use the word Godfidence because your confidence comes from Him. Have a great rest of your day.